Good morning, California, and good afternoon, Scandinavia. Welcome to the 11th Green Connections. I would first like to thank the team making this effort, Ulf, Paulina, Fanny, and Felicia. And also thank you to all our sponsors. You can see some of them behind me. First day's theme is energy storage, and we will have 8 papers presented today. We will first start with a fireside chat between the president of Open Doors Management, Sharman, and Mr. Jigar Shah, the director for Loan Programs Office at the Department of Energy.
Good morning, Jigar. It's great to see you, and thank you for providing this keynote to the 11th Annual Green Connections Conference.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for including me.
It's terrific to see you, and it's always great to have a chance to catch up with you. And you've been doing so much amazing work at the Department of Energy and the Loan Program Office. And what is clearly on the minds of so many people is how this Inflation Reduction Act is going to supercharge clean tech acceleration in the United States, and what an opportunity it provides for our international attendees who are at the conference. So I was wondering if you could just provide a little bit of background on the drivers and challenges of the Inflation Reduction Act.
Well, look, it's really wonderful to be here, and particularly at this particular moment. I think when you think about how much entrepreneurial effort has gone into this moment, there have been a lot of people who were part of Clean Tech 1.0. Now it's called Climate Tech. They have been at this for a very long time. And it's because of their hard work that we are actually at a place where we can rapidly deploy technology at scale and really bring the cost down and get to the other side. And I think what the Inflation Reduction Act does is really provide a level of de-risking such that people are moving faster. And I'll give you a couple of examples. I had a long conversation with my friends who have been working on, EV charging and DC fast charging. And, what they said to me was, they said, look, Jigar, between the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act, we now believe that we can convert all of the high mileage drivers for Uber and Lyft to electric vehicles by 2027.
Wow.
That's an extraordinary thing. Most of those high mileage drivers are driving between 30,000 and 50,000 miles a year, right? And a lot of what they've been doing is figuring out how to geofence with, airports, for instance, so that people can recharge when they, are waiting for their next ride at the airport, right? And it's a lot of little things that have to happen. But because the IRA passed, every airport in the country now believes that this is a top priority. So before, where it took 2 years to get that done, it's now happening in 3 months, right? But the same thing's true with renewable natural gas. I talked to a lot of friends of mine there, and they were saying, look, Jigar, we have 100 units at scale, but we need 2,000 units at scale to really take most of our environmental problems, right, in manure and food waste and other things, and to convert it into a better product, right, in renewable natural gas. But, today, there's a lot of confidence that we're going to get to 2,000 units. And you see a lot of county commissioners and state governors who are saying, wait a second, where did this come from? But we absolutely support diverting 19% of our waste streams from landfills to having it processed properly in digesters. I'm not sure why we were against this all along. So that's moving confidently. When you look at hydrogen, carbon sequestration and storage, transmission technologies, when you look at critical minerals, we have so many amazing critical minerals here in this country, and many of these critical minerals are on disturbed land already, right? They're in geothermal brine in the Salton Sea, or they're in clays of Nevada. And so you have this ability to actually be self-sufficient on critical minerals while we're moving to electric vehicles. And I think a lot of people thought forever that this was just impossible. And it turns out not only that it's possible, but we have the best technology in the world to do it. And so I just think there's a level of confidence, not only in the entrepreneurs who never lacked confidence, but also in investors who are supporting them and public officials who for a long time weren't sure whether they should be leaning in or not. And now they know for sure that they're supposed to be leaning in.
Yeah, that's great. And does it have a strong stimulus effect on coal plant owners and operators?
Well, remember, these coal plant owners and operators have announced for years that they want to reposition these assets, right? And, you know, in the Inflation Reduction Act, we got a new authority called 1706, which is this energy infrastructure authority. And what we're doing with that is helping them repurpose those assets. So some of them want to convert the coal plant into battery storage plus solar. Others want to convert the coal plant to a nuclear plant. Still more want to just tear the whole thing down, but have energy manufacturing be built there, whether it's battery manufacturing or solar manufacturing, because it has great rail access and other, you know, characteristics. And so the coal plant operators have said for a long time that they wanted to reposition these assets, but you're talking about 200 union jobs that are working at these places. And so they don't want to just, you know, shut them down and put all those people out of work. They want to make sure that these are repositioned and that the local town continues to get the property tax income and other things that they were accustomed to. And so I think we just have to be thoughtful. And amazingly, today we have the interest to repurpose all these sites, from hundreds of people who want to build manufacturing facilities to others who want to build solar plus battery storage to others who want to, you know, build nuclear plants. And so people have choices.
That's fantastic to hear you say how to be thoughtful about this, because I've been struggling with that myself. And I just think that this is wonderful that so many people are thinking about how to be thoughtful about repurposing and repositioning coal plants across the United States. Now, before we finish this keynote, I want everyone to know that you've built 3 great teams. 1 starting at SunEdison, 2 at Generate Capital, and 3 now at the Department of Energy with a Loan Program Office. And I'm just wondering if you want to share a few of your secret sauces about team building.
Well, it's a great question and one that I'm quite proud of. You know, I think that building a good team starts with making sure that people really feel empowered in their position. So when I first came into office, we had about 110 people, roughly 85 people that were federal employees and the rest that were contractors. And in general, I'd say that many people didn't feel fully empowered to do their jobs, right? To really lean in to the places where they had expertise, but also most people are actually quite you know, self-aware about some of their shortcomings. And so they want to be able to partner with people who complement them so they can actually be better as a team than they are as an individual. And so helping people, you know, have the freedom to do that is really important. I'd say the next big thing, though, is then having a very clear purpose for the office and for what we're doing. And I think today that purpose is very clear, right? We are private sector led, government enabled. And that was not always the case. There are times when people thought the government was smarter than the private sector and all sorts of other things. Today, we recognize that the private sector is what drives job creation, wealth creation, and really American power around the world, was by, you know, bringing these technologies to market. And you can see no better example in that than, you know, our good friends at Tesla, but also, you know, many other folks that we've supported along the way, whether it's Ford or Nissan or the solar and wind developers or, you know, battery storage manufacturing. And so I think giving us that new spin where we're really private sector led and government enabled has really brought a level of clarity around the fact that, look, our risk matrix hasn't changed the Loan Programs Office, but our approach to customer service has. We no longer, you know, belittle folks in the entrepreneurship space and innovator space because they can't get through our government regulations. We understand that not a lot of people are PhDs in government regulations. And so we now have over 30 people in the outreach and business development group at our office that does nothing but mentor people and help them through that process in a way that is not, belittling or making people feel small, but instead making people realize that like you do have to follow the rules. You have to follow them properly, but we'll help you get through it. Right. Yeah. And then the last piece is, I do think that people want to know that they're part of something bigger than themselves, right? And I think that we have been able to show the Loan Programs Office and the $40 billion of authorities we had before the IRA, and now we've got hundreds of billions of dollars of authority, is really here for the American people. And for people who have great ideas, who have scar tissue, frankly, right, from beating their head against the wall for a long time, for people who want to do more with the experience and skills that they have, we have been a real magnet, right? People realize that this platform is a place where they can really reach and do more for their community. And so we've been able to get over 43 new people to join our office in the last 6 weeks. And so it's just been extraordinary. And for me, I've been in this sector for a long time. And, for me to be able to have this opportunity to really provide the support and air cover that the rest of our 200 staff now need to be able to do their jobs effectively has been, a real pleasure.
Wow, that's so inspiring. And thank you so much for addressing the 11th Annual Green Connections Conference. We really appreciate your time here today.
Well, it's my pleasure. And what you've done over the past, 10 to 15 years, really to help empower consumers around the state of California and around the world has been breathtaking.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.